Rob Zombie's Halloween came out in 2007, right in the peak of the explanation era, where all my childhood villains were given backstories. Had his movie been the only remake during that period, probably would have been received a lot better. But I think people were getting fed up with it, and we were only about halfway through that whole remake crisis. But at the same time, this movie, if he had just changed the name of the characters, ditched the mask, gave it a different title, people would probably consider this his best film. It opens with Michael's dysfunctional family, his abusive alcoholic stepdad or live-in boyfriend or whatever the hell that guy is. Judith, his older slutty teenage sister who's following in her mom's footsteps, his little infant baby sister, and then his stripper mom, who has poor taste in men, and based on the age difference between each of her kids, probably just has bad judgment in general. Michael's already been killing small animals. He's got all the ingredients of a serial killer. His mom's career is getting him bullied at school and getting into fights. Dr. Loomis is already on the case. He goes to the principal's office that day for getting in a fight with one of the bullies, making fun of his sister and his mom for being sluts. And that day on the way home, he follows the bully into the woods with his clown mask on. You know, the clown mask like in the original. And he follows him, and he picks up a log and beats him down and kills him, which is kind of disturbing. Just the blood on the bully's face, there's something weird about it. That, and like when I was in school, when people died, their bodies were always found in the woods, so it was like kind of this weird like, ugh. But it's the explanation of Michael that makes this movie kind of less scary. Kind of like it's preventable. Like he had all these things, and if the right person stepped in, they could have done something about it. Whereas in the original, he was from a middle-class, normal family. His sister was cool, his parents were married, and he just snapped one day, and he was a lot younger. And in this one, they're just you know, putting all the ingredients into the bowl and stirring it up and spitting out a serial killer. And it's not as scary because it gives you that false sense of security of being able to prevent it. I mean, that's what's scary about mass shootings, is the fact that you don't know like how many ticks away that time bomb is from going off. Half the time, you don't even know there is a time bomb. But if you could go through and see, then it's like, well, that's not that scary. All we have to do is make sure the kids are doing this, 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 and this, and then that takes care of the problem. It's not having any idea how to deal with that problem that's scary. It's the not knowing. So getting this, well, here's all the pieces of why this kid's flipping out. It's like, well, okay, that puts it in a neat package for the explanation, but we didn't need an explanation. It was scarier without the explanation. So when Michael gets home, his mom bitches him out for getting in a fight, which is kind of bullshit because, little does she know, she was sticking up for him. If she wasn't the way she was, he wouldn't have been bullied and gotten into a fight and stood up for himself. I mean, at least she doesn't know that he killed that kid, but she still agrees to take him trick-or-treating. But then at the last minute, she's like, you know, I can't take you trick-or-treating after all. And she pawns him off on his sister, Judith, who then pawns him off. Doesn't even pawn him off, just ditches. She's like, I'm not taking you trick-or-treating. She goes upstairs and has sex with her boyfriend. Meanwhile, downstairs, stepdaddy-o, whoever that guy is passed out in his chair. Well, who knows where the hell baby Lori is. So Michael just sits outside by himself, which is kind of weird because it's not like in the original. I mean, he's not a little toddler. He's like 12. You know, go trick-or-treating by yourself. You killed a kid today, and you draw the line at, well, I don't want to get in trouble for trick-or-treating by myself when I'm not supposed to, so I guess I'll just sit here, or maybe when when my sister's done having sex with her boyfriend, maybe then I can go trick-or-treating. I don't know. After sitting on the porch not trick-or-treating for minutes or hours, however long, he goes into the house and kills everybody, except for baby Lori. He finds the mask, which is actually introduced by Judith's boyfriend in this version. When his mom gets home, she finds him sitting on the porch holding little baby Lori, sitting there on the steps, waiting like he was before he went in and killed everybody, except this time now he's holding Lori. And she goes in and she's like, what's going on? Why are you guys out here? And he's like, it's over, Mommy. Now, does he think he's a hero in this situation? Like he just rid the house of evil? Because, hey, Michael, yo, you missed a spot. A big spot. 11 months later. Since that night, Michael has been institutionalized. He now spends time with Loomis regularly. Loomis talks to him about the night. But for some reason, Michael seems to not really remember that night. It's almost like when he puts that mask on, he can't remember what happens afterwards. You know, like it's an alter ego, like he's some kind of superhero, except he's not super and he's not a hero. But his mom visits him more now, because now she has time for him. But once he realizes that he's not getting out of there, he just goes silent and he won't talk to Loomis. And after 2 weeks, he won't talk to his mom. He won't talk to anybody. So one afternoon, Loomis and his mom go out and talk and try and think about other ways, other steps that they need to take because they want to rehabilitate him. And while they're out there doing that, he stabs a nurse to death with a fork and basically cements his residency in that institution forever. 15 years later, Michael still hasn't talked. And now Loomis is at the point where he needs to move on. He's ready to go. He's going on to bigger, different, other things. He's ditching Michael, just like Michael's mom did whenever she got the chance, just like his sister did, just like everybody does. Poor Michael, poor silent Michael. One night, 2 guards bring a girl in for him. She's another inmate. They bring her in, but they basically rape her in front of him. And so he kills them. Pretty sure he didn't kill her. Therefore, he's once again in his mind a hero. And I don't know if he really thinks that, but he does these little things in this version where it's like, I kill, it's like they do the ingredients for him to be a serial killer, but then at the same time he has this almost like a vigilanteism in him. So then he puts on a mask and he goes out the front door and kills his way back. He's going to Haddonfield. He's going home. About an hour in and we finally meet present day Laurie. Dee Wallace makes a cameo as Laurie's mom, her adopted mom. The mom we never met in the original. You don't get to meet those parents in the middle. They're already gone and Laurie's babysitting. Laurie acts more like her slutty dead sister Judith in this one than she does Jamie Lee Curtis. And she's hot. This remake era, they constantly cast hot brunette girls that all just kind of look the same. When I was a kid, they all looked different, and me and my friends could have the hot girl debate. Like, do you like Blair, or do you like Joe? Do you like Betty, or do you like Veronica? And everybody liked somebody different, and you'd have actual arguments, and you'd get swayed. It was something to talk about. These girls all look the same. They're all hot. They're all the same. Cookie cutter hot chicks. But Zombie he kind of insults us. He just throws a pair of glasses on her. It's like, yeah, not just different girl. She's not slutty at all. She's the good one. And it's like, she kind of acts, not as bad as her friends that we'll later see, but she's still kind of she's not like the prude that Jamie Lee Curtis originally was, that she would break out of, kind of. Not like she got slutty, but she was like this good girl who had to find it within herself to be like, I have to kill this guy and protect these kids and that kind of stuff. So Michael is already back in Haddonfield. He goes back to his original house, which is abandoned. He goes down, he finds out where he buried the mask. At first that seemed funny to me, but then it's like, well, I guess it's not like he got busted right when he killed his family. Like, he waited on the thing. So probably before he went and got Laurie and took her out there and held her, he was probably like, I better bury this mask. It's like, I don't know why he had the foresight to, I'm gonna need this later. Eventually this mask is gonna fit. And buried it, and now I'm gonna go sit on the porch and wait for my mom and my sister. Danielle Harris from Halloween 3 and 4 plays Annie in this one, who's one of Laurie's friends. She's a character from the original. And when they're walking home, they see Michael in the distance. Like they actually see him, so they start, not Laurie, but her two friends, Annie and the other girl, whose name I don't remember. But they just like start antagonizing him and like talking shit. He just kind of stands there, frozen. And then they keep walking. And then later that night, Laurie goes over to babysit Tommy Doyle over to his house. And he's played by Eric. Only Eric's a little kid, but he plays Eric on Santa Clarita Diet. Love that show. And Michael goes over to Laurie's parents' house and kills them. And then I don't know. It's funny how, because he's huge. I mean, like he was like, I don't know. He wasn't huge in the original, but in this one he's probably like 6'6". But he just like kind of stalks around undetected and sneaks up on people, and he can be like right next to them and nobody knows it, and he's just like ever present. And you know, there's never a creaking board in the house. There's never like a crushed leaf outside, even though it's fall and it's not raining, so it's like those leaves are crisp. If you step on a leaf right behind me, I'm going to hear you, I would think.
Oh, so what are we watching here? I think I've seen this. Oh crap.
I'm not going to though.
Hey, where you guys going?
Gonna share some popcorn with the little
boy. I ain't getting invited to this party. Hey! Oh, guess y'all are fucking. Surprise!
Come on now. The idea of a guy that size just being able to sneak up on you and you don't notice, give me a break. Now, just like in the original, he dresses up like a ghost in glasses. But unlike the original, I don't know, the glasses this time take her mind off the fact that he's like 8 inches taller, like some Clark Kent shit. I mean, it's pretty hilarious that Michael Myers is like, oh, as sneaky as I am, I'm gonna put on this costume and then kill her and take her by surprise. Like, why is he thinking about that? In this version, Loomis is a douche, whereas in the original, he actually cared and was trying to protect everybody, including Michael. Maybe that is deliberately trying to reflect the sign of the times, where now he's trying to cash in on the Michael Myers phenomena, trying to get the cash, the money, the attention, you know, kind of like what I'm doing now by trying to make this video. He finds out Michael escaped and he's on his way. He's there. Throughout all the Halloween movies, there always seems to be this weird psychic connection between Michael and Laurie, which is like why he comes back for her. But he comes back just to kill her. So it's like, why didn't he just kill her when she was a baby? Like, this is why the Rob Zombie version doesn't make sense. You're sitting on the drive. Why didn't you kill her then? I'm going to come back. I'm going to hold you now, not see you for 15 years, and then I'm going to come back then. And how does Loomis know he's going back to Haddonfield? It's like he hasn't even... Loomis is like, yeah, I think he's going back there. I got to get there right now. Michael hasn't talked in 15 years. Apparently, I don't know, based on how this movie's playing out at this point, Michael just needs to run in and just start taking out people who are fucking. He's like, oh, these people are fucking, die. You're fucking, die. Like he's on some kind of psychotic moral crusade. But it's worth it, because we get to see Danielle Harris run around topless for a little while. Thanks, Rob. But I don't know, maybe Michael was just, maybe he was just upset. He got triggered and offended because they were making fun of him earlier in the street. Maybe he was just going to go after Laurie, and then he was like, man, fuck you guys. I'm taking y'all out now. Michael and Laurie face off. He shows her a picture of the two of them when she was a baby. She has no fucking idea what that picture means or who the people in it are. She just kind of like plays along for a second, and then she stabs him, makes a break for it, gets herself trapped, but Loomis shows up, fires a couple shots into Michael. Michael drops. So Loomis escorts her back to the car, like kind of assuring her it's all over. They get in, and for the final scare, Michael busts through the window, pulls her out, and then he and Loomis have their little Obi-Wan Anakin moment.
Not her fault. Mike, it's my fault. I failed you. I have failed you, Anakin. I have failed you.
Michael lets Laurie go and the surrounding cops gun him down. What the fuck? Since when do cops in a horror movie actually do any good and come in and save the day? They always show up after. Also, this steals all the final girl tropes from Laurie, who initially helped write the handbook on what a final girl was. This version of Laurie is pretty just worthless. She doesn't do anything. And on top of that, it takes away from Loomis, who was a hero in at least the first 2 Halloween movies showing up. Yeah, shit ending. Sorry, Rob. You blew it. Because you should have known not to let cops save the day. The Gilligan Award goes to Deborah Myers, Michael's mother, because basically this whole thing is her fault. Because your number one job as a parent is to protect your kid, or kids. Which means don't bring shithead people around the house to harass them. I mean, I understand that you can be a shitty parent and still have a good kid. And you can be a good parent and still turn out with a shitty kid. But in this case, I hold her 100% responsible. Versus the mom from the original, I don't hold her responsible at all. I watched this movie on my Blu-ray box set. I like getting box sets, but you know what I don't like about box sets? As soon as I buy them, they make another fucking movie. Halloween 2, again. I think next October I'm going to do a Halloween 2 trilogy. I bought the Chucky set, and it didn't even come with Child's Play, the original. And then they come out with another Chucky movie, and then they came out with a fucking remake. I bought the Resident Evil set. Then they came out with, what is this, 5 of them? Then they came out with one more, a 6th one. I got the complete Saw set. They came out with Jigsaw shortly after. But not Phantasm. Phantasm would not do that to me. Unfortunately, right before this came out, I bought the original on Blu-ray. And then the 5th one came out, and I bought it too. So these movies keep screwing me. Box sets are cool, but I should not buy them. What did we learn? Survival tips. Don't buy movie box sets. Don't be a bully. Maybe put your kids first, at least a little. If you like what you just saw, hit like and subscribe, or whatever you normally do when you enjoy a video. Also, click the links below to visit my Facebook page and the main website where you have access to hundreds of written reviews.